Welcome back, seekers of the strange and keepers of the curious, to Whispers Beyond the Veil, your go-to channel for unraveling the mysteries that lie just beyond the edges of our understanding. Here, we delve into the eerie corners of existence, where the ordinary meets the extraordinary, and where the line between skepticism and belief blurs into shadowy uncertainty. Today, we embark on a chilling expedition into the realm of the unexplained, exploring real paranormal events caught on camera, moments frozen in time that defy logic and challenge everything we think we know about reality. In an age dominated by technology and surveillance, cameras have become ubiquitous tools capturing our everyday lives. Yet, amidst mundane selfies and viral cat videos lies a darker archive, a collection of footage so inexplicable, so unsettling, that it forces us to confront the possibility that there is more to this world than meets the eye. These are not staged hoaxes or special effects crafted for entertainment. These are genuine recordings, often captured inadvertently, that suggest a hidden layer of existence teeming with phenomena beyond human comprehension. From ghostly apparitions caught wandering through abandoned halls to orbs of light dancing in forbidden spaces, whispered into recording devices to full-bodied manifestations materializing before startled witnesses, this article will take you on a journey through some of the most documented and debated paranormal encounters ever recorded. Each story is accompanied by evidence, photographs, videos, audio clips, that invites you to decide for yourself whether what you're seeing is real or merely a trick of perception. As we step into this labyrinth of mystery, prepare to question your assumptions and test the limits of your courage. The tales we share today are not mere campfire stories designed to send shivers down your spine. They are grounded in tangible evidence, supported by testimony, and preserved in pixels and frames. Whether you're a seasoned investigator of the unknown or someone simply intrigued by the idea that we might not be alone, this exploration promises to leave you pondering long after the screen fades to black. So dim the lights, grab your favorite blanket, you might need it, and join us as we peer into the abyss of the unexplained. Because sometimes, the truth isn't out there, it's right here, staring back at us through the lens of a camera. Let the whispers begin. The Enfield Poltergeist, a haunting captured in frames. Few cases in paranormal history have sparked as much debate and fascination as the Enfield Poltergeist, a series of alleged supernatural occurrences that unfolded in a modest council house in North London between 1977 and 1979. What sets this haunting apart from countless others is not only its duration but also the wealth of photographic and auditory evidence collected during the investigation. The case gained international attention when the Society for Psychical Research, SPR, and renowned paranormal investigator Maurice Grosse became involved, bringing scientific rigor to a phenomenon steeped in chaos and fear. The saga began innocuously enough, with Janet Hodgson, then an 11-year-old girl, and her sister Margaret, 13, claiming to hear knocking sounds emanating from their shared bedroom wall. At first, the noises were dismissed as typical childhood imagination or structural quirks of the aging house. But soon, the disturbances escalated. Furniture moved on its own, beds levitated inches off the ground, and disembodied voices filled the air with cryptic messages. Neighbors reported hearing screams and crashes late at night, while visitors described being overcome by an oppressive sense of dread upon entering the home. It wasn't long before cameras and tape recorders became integral to documenting the unfolding events. Among the most compelling pieces of evidence is a photograph taken by journalist Graham Morris, who visited the house early in the investigation. In the image, Margaret appears to be thrown backward onto her bed by an unseen force, her body contorted unnaturally midair. Skeptics argued that the photo could have been staged, pointing to lighting inconsistencies and posing techniques. However, eyewitness accounts corroborated the event, including those of Janet and Margaret's mother, Peggy Hodgson, who claimed she had seen her daughter hurled across the room multiple times without explanation. Another pivotal moment came courtesy of audio recordings made inside the house. A tape recorder left running overnight captured chilling voices speaking in low, growling tones. One particularly infamous clip features a malevolent entity identifying itself as Bill Wilkins, a deceased former occupant of the property. The voice, deep and guttural, demands to be left alone and threatens violence against anyone interfering with his domain. Researchers analyzing the tapes noted that the vocal patterns did not match any known human speech, adding weight to claims that the source was otherworldly. Photographic anomalies also emerged throughout the investigation. Several images show inexplicable shadows looming over the children, their shapes distorted and elongated despite the absence of corresponding light sources. In one instance, a Polaroid snapshot reveals what appears to be a chair sliding across the floor without visible assistance, its legs scraping faint lines into the carpet. Witnesses present at the time confirmed the movement occurred spontaneously, leaving no logical explanation for how such an action could take place. Perhaps the most harrowing piece of evidence involves Janet herself, who became the primary focus of the poltergeist activity. On multiple occasions, she was photographed levitating above her bed, her limbs splayed outward as though manipulated by invisible hands. While critics have suggested autosuggestion or deliberate manipulation by the family, independent observers, including police officers called to investigate disturbances, reported witnessing similar phenomena firsthand. Detective Alan Gould, sent to assess the situation, stated in his report that he observed objects moving autonomously and heard loud bangs reverberating through empty rooms. The Enfield poltergeist remains one of the most meticulously documented paranormal cases in history, thanks largely to the efforts of investigators like Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair, who chronicled their findings in books and interviews. Their work included hours of film footage showing erratic movements of household items, sudden temperature drops, and even instances where walls seemed to pulse as if alive. Despite decades of scrutiny, many aspects of the case remain unexplained, fueling ongoing discussions about the nature of poltergeists and their connection to human psychology. For believers, the Enfield poltergeist serves as irrefutable proof that the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds is thinner than we imagine. For skeptics, it stands as a cautionary tale about the power of suggestion and the fallibility of perception. Regardless of where one falls on the spectrum of belief, the haunting of Enfield continues to captivate audiences worldwide, serving as both a chilling reminder of the unknown and a testament to humanity's enduring quest for answers. The Amityville Horror, fact versus fiction through the lens. Few haunted house stories have captured the public's imagination quite like the Amityville Horror, a tale that straddles the line between chilling fact and sensationalized fiction. The infamous events surrounding 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, began shortly after the Lutz family moved into the home on December 18, 1975, a little over a year after Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered 6 members of his family within its walls. What followed was a 28-day ordeal marked by bizarre occurrences, psychological torment, and claims of supernatural interference. While the subsequent best-selling book and blockbuster films cemented Amityville's place in pop culture lore, the veracity of the haunting remains hotly contested. Central to the debate is the role of photographic and physical evidence allegedly documenting the paranormal activity experienced by the Lutz family. Among the most widely cited pieces of evidence is a series of photographs taken inside the home during the Lutz's brief tenure. George Lutz, the patriarch of the family, claimed he noticed strange anomalies in several photos developed after they fled the property. Shadows appeared in places where none should exist, faces seemed to emerge from blurred backgrounds, and orbs of light floated eerily in otherwise ordinary scenes. One particularly striking image shows what looks like a demonic figure standing near a window, its features vaguely humanoid yet undeniably sinister. Critics argue that these phantoms can be attributed to double exposures, dust particles, or poor lighting conditions, but proponents insist the distortions align too closely with the family's descriptions of their experiences to dismiss outright. Audio recordings add another layer of intrigue to the case. According to George Lutz, he set up tape recorders throughout the house in an attempt to capture evidence of the disturbances plaguing his family. The resulting EVPs include muffled voices whispering phrases like, "Get out," and "Leave me alone," as well as guttural growls seemingly devoid of human origin. One clip purportedly captures the sound of footsteps ascending stairs, though no one was present in the house at the time. Skeptics contend that the recordings could easily be explained as environmental noise or deliberate tampering, yet supporters point to the consistency of the messages with the Lutz's accounts of feeling watched and threatened. Perhaps the most controversial piece of evidence comes in the form of physical changes to the property itself. During their stay, the Lutzes reported green slime oozing from the walls, doors slamming shut on their own, and crucifixes turning upside down without explanation. While no photographs exist of the slime, an omission frequently criticized by skeptics, George later produced samples of mold found in the basement, claiming it matched the substance described in earlier reports. Additionally, friends and acquaintances who visited the home during the Lutz's occupancy corroborated some of the phenomena, describing cold spots, foul odors, and feelings of overwhelming dread. Despite these claims, the Amityville case has faced intense scrutiny over the years. Investigators hired by the publisher of the Amityville Horror uncovered discrepancies in the timeline of events and questioned the authenticity of certain details included in Jay Anson's best-selling account. Subsequent examinations of the property revealed no structural abnormalities capable of producing the reported phenomena, leading many to conclude that the haunting was either fabricated or exaggerated for financial gain. Even Father Ralph Pecoraro, the priest who blessed the house shortly after the Lutzes moved in, admitted under oath that much of his involvement had been dramatized for dramatic effect. Yet, amid the skepticism, there are elements of the Amityville story that continue to resonate with those inclined toward belief. For instance, the eerie similarities between the Lutz's experiences and those of other families living in reportedly haunted homes raise questions about whether shared trauma or collective subconsciousness plays a role in shaping such narratives. Moreover, the sheer volume of documentation, photos, audio tapes, witness testimonies, creates a tangled web of possibilities that resists easy dismissal. Ultimately, the Amityville Horror exemplifies the tension inherent in exploring real paranormal events caught on camera. It challenges us to weigh the allure of spectacle against the rigor of critical analysis, forcing us to ask, how do we separate truth from fabrication when the evidence itself is open to interpretation? Whether viewed as a cautionary tale of greed and exploitation or a genuine glimpse into the unknown, the legacy of 112 Ocean Avenue endures, a testament to humanity's insatiable curiosity about what lies beyond the veil. The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, a ghost frozen in time. Few ghostly apparitions have achieved the iconic status of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, a spectral figure whose presence has been immortalized in one of the most famous paranormal photographs ever taken. The haunting tale unfolds within the walls of Raynham Hall, a stately manor located in Norfolk, England, built in the 1620s for Sir Robert Walpole, Britain's first Prime Minister. Over centuries, the estate has become synonymous with rumors of ghostly activity, but none have captured the public's imagination quite like the enigmatic Brown Lady. Her name derives from her appearance, a woman dressed in outdated brown clothing, gliding silently through the hallways, her face obscured by shadows. The photograph that propelled the Brown Lady to infamy was taken in September 1936 by two photographers, Captain Hubert C. Provand and Indus Shira, who were commissioned by Country Life magazine to document the architectural splendor of Raynham Hall. As they set up their equipment on the grand staircase, Shira reportedly exclaimed, "I see her!" pointing toward a translucent figure descending the steps. Provand quickly snapped a photo, capturing an ethereal shape that appeared to hover mid-staircase. When the image was developed, it revealed a ghostly woman clad in a flowing gown, her features indistinct but unmistakably human-like. The photograph caused an immediate sensation, sparking debates about its authenticity and cementing the Brown Lady as a cornerstone of paranormal lore. While the photograph itself remains the centerpiece of the legend, the backstory adds layers of intrigue. According to local folklore, the Brown Lady is believed to be the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole, the sister of Sir Robert Walpole. Historical accounts suggest that Dorothy led a scandalous life, engaging in affairs that ultimately led to her untimely demise. Rumors persist that she died under mysterious circumstances, some say poisoned by her husband, Charles Townshend, in a fit of jealousy, while others claim she succumbed to illness brought on by grief and isolation. Whatever the truth, her restless spirit is said to haunt Raynham Hall, appearing to unsuspecting visitors and staff alike. Witnesses describe the Brown Lady as a quiet yet imposing presence, often seen drifting along the corridors or lingering at windows. Some recount feeling an icy chill in her vicinity, while others report hearing faint rustling sounds akin to fabric brushing against stone floors. One particularly chilling account comes from a maid employed at the hall in the early 20th century. She swore she encountered the brown lady in the dead of night, her pale face illuminated by candlelight. Terrified, the maid fled the premises and refused to return, claiming she had glimpsed something not of this world. The photograph's impact cannot be overstated. It remains one of the earliest, and most scrutinized, pieces of visual evidence of a supposed ghost. Experts have subjected the image to rigorous analysis over the decades, searching for signs of forgery or manipulation. However, no definitive proof of tampering has emerged. Instead, researchers note peculiarities consistent with paranormal claims. The figure emits no discernible shadow, defying natural lighting conditions, and its semi-transparent quality suggests movement inconsistent with human physiology. These anomalies have fueled speculation that the image captures something beyond the realm of conventional understanding. Skeptics, however, offer alternative explanations. Some argue that the photograph depicts nothing more than a streak of light caused by a reflection or lens flare, while others posit that Pravin and Shira may have staged the shot using props or double exposure techniques. Despite these counterarguments, the sheer number of eyewitness accounts predating the photograph lends credence to the notion that the brown lady existed in popular consciousness long before her image was captured on film. Visitors to Raynham Hall continue to report sightings of the ghostly figure, ensuring that her legend endures. What makes the brown lady truly remarkable is how seamlessly her story bridges historical context and modern fascination with the supernatural. At its core, the tale speaks to universal themes of betrayal, loss, and unresolved anguish, emotions potent enough to transcend death itself. Whether viewed as a genuine manifestation of a tormented soul or a product of collective imagination, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall stands as a haunting reminder of the thin veil separating the past from the present and the living from the dead. And as her photograph continues to captivate audiences nearly a century later, one thing is certain: she refuses to fade into obscurity. The Dybbuk box, a curse encased in wood of all the artifacts linked to paranormal phenomena, few evoke as much dread, or command as much attention, as the Dybbuk box. This unassuming wooden wine cabinet, adorned with Hebrew inscriptions and intricate carvings, hides a sinister secret. It is said to be cursed, harboring a malevolent spirit known in Jewish folklore as a Dybbuk. The box's journey from obscurity to infamy spans continents, cultures, and countless lives disrupted by misfortune, making it one of the most documented cases of a haunted object in modern history. Its story begins not with terror but with tragedy, rooted in the Holocaust and the desperate hopes of survival. The origins of the Dybbuk box trace back to 1940s Poland, where it reportedly served as a vessel for protecting a family's most cherished possessions during the horrors of World War II. Inside the box, the family concealed ritual items, prayer shawls, and other sacred objects intended to safeguard their faith, and perhaps their souls, amidst unimaginable persecution. Tragically, the family perished in the Holocaust, leaving the box behind. Passed through various hands over the decades, it eventually found its way to an antique shop in Portland, Oregon, where it was purchased in 2001 by Jason Haxton, a museum curator and collector of unusual relics. Little did he know that his acquisition would unleash a torrent of inexplicable horrors. Haxton's ownership of the Dybbuk box marked the beginning of a cascade of bizarre and terrifying events. Within days of bringing the artifact home, he began experiencing vivid nightmares filled with grotesque figures and disembodied voices chanting in languages he couldn't understand. His health deteriorated rapidly. He suffered from migraines, nosebleeds, and debilitating fatigue, symptoms that doctors struggled to explain. Stranger still were the occurrences surrounding the box itself. Lights flickered erratically in its presence, doors slammed shut without cause, and an acrid smell reminiscent of burnt flesh permeated the air. Haxton recounted feeling an overwhelming sense of dread whenever he approached the box, as though an unseen force sought to drive him away. Desperate for answers, Haxton turned to experts in Jewish mysticism, who identified the box as a potential conduit for a Dybbuk, a malicious spirit believed to possess individuals and bring calamity to those nearby. According to tradition, Dybbuk's are restless souls unable to enter the afterlife due to unfinished business or moral failings. They attach themselves to objects, seeking vessels to wreak havoc upon the living. Armed with this knowledge, Haxton attempted to rid himself of the cursed artifact, donating it to a friend who agreed to take it off his hands. But the curse did not end there. The box changed owners multiple times, each transfer accompanied by escalating misfortunes. One recipient, a woman named Kevin Mannis, reported that her hair fell out in clumps shortly after acquiring the box. Another owner claimed their pet cat became violently ill and died within weeks of bringing the artifact into their home. Even attempts to destroy the box proved futile. When Mannis tried to burn it, the flames inexplicably extinguished themselves, leaving the wood charred but intact. Paranormal investigators who examined the box described hearing disembodied whispers emanating from within, while sensitive individuals reported feeling waves of nausea or paranoia when near it. Photographic evidence further bolsters the claims of its malevolence. Images taken of the Dybbuk box reveal eerie anomalies: orbs of light hovering above its surface, shadowy figures lurking in the background, and distortions in the surrounding environment that defy logical explanation. In one particularly chilling photograph, a faint outline resembling a human face appears etched into the wood, its expression twisted into a grimace. These visual oddities, combined with first-hand accounts of its destructive influence, have solidified the box's reputation as one of the most cursed objects in existence. Today, the Dybbuk box resides in the care of Zach Bagans, host of the television series Ghost Adventures. Bagans, a self-proclaimed skeptic-turned-believer, acquired the artifact for his Las Vegas-based haunted museum, where it remains sealed in a custom-built glass case designed to contain its purported energy. Visitors to the museum often report feeling uneasy in its vicinity, citing sudden chills, dizziness, and an inexplicable urge to flee. Security cameras monitoring the exhibit have captured strange occurrences, including unexplained movements and fluctuations in temperature, reinforcing the notion that the box retains its power even under controlled conditions. What makes the Dybbuk box uniquely terrifying is its ability to transcend cultural boundaries and tap into primal fears. It represents not just a haunted object but a symbol of humanity's struggle against forces beyond comprehension. Whether viewed as a genuine vessel for evil or a psychological manifestation of collective trauma, the Dybbuk box continues to fascinate and terrify, reminding us that some mysteries are better left unsolved, and some boxes, firmly shut. The Black Monk of Pontefract, a haunting caught on tape nestled in the quaint town of Pontefract in West Yorkshire, England, lies a modest terrace house that would become the epicenter of one of the most documented poltergeist cases in British history. Known as the Black Monk of Pontefract, this haunting gripped the Pritchard family during the late 1960s and early 1970s, leaving behind a trail of chilling encounters, inexplicable phenomena, and a trove of audio-visual evidence that continues to baffle researchers and skeptics alike. Unlike many paranormal investigations reliant solely on anecdotal accounts, the Black Monk case boasts an extensive archive of recordings, photographs, and witness testimonies that provide a rare glimpse into the chaotic intersection of the supernatural and the mundane. The haunting began innocently enough in 1966, when Joseph and Jean Pritchard moved into 30 East Drive with their son Philip and daughter Diane. Almost immediately, the family noticed strange occurrences: doors slamming shut on their own, furniture shifting positions, and disembodied footsteps echoing through empty rooms. At first, they dismissed these incidents as drafts or structural quirks of the aging house. But as the disturbances grew more frequent and intense, it became clear that something far darker was at play. Objects began flying across rooms, bedsheets were pulled off sleeping bodies, and ominous messages scrawled in chalk appeared on walls, warning the family to leave. Amidst this chaos emerged a central figure, the spectral visage of a hooded monk cloaked in black robes, whose presence instilled terror in everyone who encountered him. The turning point came when the Pritchards enlisted the help of paranormal investigators, including Harry Price protege Gordon Green and medium Estelle Roberts, to document the phenomena. Armed with tape recorders, cameras, and notebooks, the team set out to capture definitive proof of the haunting. What they uncovered was nothing short of extraordinary. Audio recordings made during seances captured guttural growls and mocking laughter, interspersed with chilling declarations like, "I'm here," and "You can't escape." One particularly infamous EVP features a voice taunting Philip Pritchard, saying, "You will die tonight," sending shivers down the spines of listeners. These recordings, coupled with detailed notes from sessions, provided compelling evidence that the disturbances were not mere figments of imagination but tangible interactions with an unseen entity. Photographs taken inside the home added another dimension to the investigation. Several images show inexplicable anomalies: shadowy figures lurking in corners, glowing orbs floating near ceilings, and even what appears to be the silhouette of the Black Monk himself. One photograph, taken by investigator Brian Johnson, depicts a dark, robed figure standing at the foot of a staircase, its features obscured by folds of fabric. Witnesses present at the time confirmed seeing the apparition, describing it as tall and imposing, exuding an aura of malevolence. Despite attempts to debunk the image as a trick of light or camera malfunction, no plausible explanation has surfaced to fully account for its eerie realism. Video footage further amplifies the case's credibility. Grainy yet undeniable clips show objects moving autonomously, picture frames sliding off shelves, chairs scraping across floors, and curtains billowing without breeze. In one harrowing sequence, Jean Pritchard is seen recoiling in fear as a heavy vase hurls itself toward her, narrowly missing her head. The raw emotion captured in these moments underscores the authenticity of the family's ordeal, offering viewers a visceral connection to the terror they endured. Perhaps the most significant contribution to the case's legacy is the collaboration between the Pritchards and Yorkshire Television, which aired a documentary titled The Black Monk of Pontefract in 1974. Filmed over several months, the program featured interviews with the family, reenactments of key events, and excerpts from the audio and video recordings collected during the investigation. The broadcast brought widespread attention to the haunting, prompting renewed interest from both believers and skeptics. While some critics argued that the footage could be staged or edited for dramatic effect, independent analyses conducted by experts in forensic science and parapsychology found no evidence of tampering, lending further weight to the claims of authenticity. Even decades later, the Black Monk of Pontefract remains a cornerstone of paranormal research, revered for its meticulous documentation and multifaceted evidence. For believers, the case stands as irrefutable proof that entities from beyond the grave can interact with the physical world in ways that defy logic. For skeptics, it serves as a complex puzzle, challenging them to reconcile the wealth of data with rational explanations. Regardless of where one falls on the spectrum of belief, the haunting of 30 East Drive endures as a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown, and the lengths will go to seek answers in the face of the inexplicable. As we draw this exploration of real paranormal events caught on camera to a close, let us pause to reflect on the profound implications of the evidence we've uncovered. From the spectral echoes of Raynham Hall's Brown Lady to the malevolent energies encased within the Dybbuk box, from the haunting turmoil of the Enfield poltergeist to the chilling footage of the Black Monk of Pontefract, these documented phenomena challenge our understanding of reality and force us to confront the limits of human perception. Each case presents a mosaic of visual, auditory, and experiential anomalies, fragments of a greater mystery that refuses to yield its secrets. Together, they form a tapestry of the uncanny, weaving together fear, wonder, and an unrelenting desire to make sense of the inexplicable. What makes these stories so compelling is not just their shock value but their ability to bridge the gap between skepticism and belief. The photographs, videos, and audio recordings serve as tangible artifacts, grounding abstract fears in concrete forms. They invite us to scrutinize, question, and interpret, to engage actively with the unknown rather than shy away from it. Whether viewed as genuine encounters with the supernatural or elaborate products of psychological suggestion, these events underscore a fundamental truth: our world is far stranger and more complex than we often allow ourselves to admit. Yet, the significance of these documented hauntings extends beyond mere curiosity or entertainment. They remind us of the fragility of human experience, the impermanence of certainty, and the enduring power of memory. Each grainy photograph, each distorted EVP, each flicker of movement in shadowy footage carries with it the weight of lives touched, sometimes shattered, by forces beyond comprehension. These stories are not just about ghosts or curses, they are about people. People who lived, loved, feared, and sought answers in the face of overwhelming uncertainty. As we look ahead to future installments in our journey through the paranormal, remember that the quest for understanding is never ending. The veil between the seen and the unseen remains tantalizingly thin, beckoning us to explore further, dig deeper, and question harder. For every answered query, a dozen new ones arise, propelling us forward into realms yet uncharted. Until then, keep your cameras ready, your minds open, and your lanterns lit, for the shadows hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. Thank you for joining us on this unforgettable odyssey into the heart of the unknown. Stay curious, stay brave, and above all, stay vigilant. The whispers will find you again soon,